Today's a good day for a season rush. In this edition of Season Rush, I'm going to be covering the second season of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Before I get started, however, I realized that I neglected to mention which episode of Season 1 was my favorite and which episode was my least favorite. So, let it be known that my favorite episode of Season 1 was the Cutie Mark Chronicles, and my least favorite was Feeling Pinky Keen. But that's enough about Season 1. Let's get on to what we really want to talk about. Season 2. After seeing a few cartoons where the trickster villain was a little Discord was a pleasant breath of fresh air. This is the reason why Twilight became one of my top 10 favorite characters, and the decision to have everyone write letters to the princess was a welcome change. Luna's my favorite princess ever! Despite the fact that Sweetie Belle was my least favorite CMC at the time, in this episode she was surprisingly tolerable. Maybe because she's actually doing something other than crusading. Also, as someone with a younger sister of their own, I really felt for Rarity in this episode. An episode where Apple Bloom is desperate to get her cutie mark. Why do I feel like I've seen this episode before? Well, at least we get to see Zecora again. Meh. I know a lot of people hated this episode, but I didn't really mind it. It was nice to see how Rainbow Dash would react to not having any attention. Another great Rarity episode, another great Rarity song, and her moment at the end really made her one of my absolute favorite characters. This is how you do a Spike episode, and I could almost hear the Sparity fans gushing over Spike almost telling Rarity his secret, which is understandable because the scene was done really well. This was a creative way of exploring Equestria's history without having it be a total info dump. And I personally love it when we get more info about the world of MLP. Seriously, if there's an Equestrian history book, I would buy that ASAP. I was gonna say meh, but then I remembered that we got some Equestrian history towards the end, so this episode gets a pass. An episode that would have been nice if we hadn't already treaded this territory last season, and that episode wasn't that great either. See, I can have legitimate criticism for a Pinkie Pie episode. You guys know me. I'm not against an Applejack episode, but it would have been cool to see Applejack's perspective instead of having everyone wonder where she is. To me, the Flim Flam brothers were underwhelming villains, and I really didn't like their song, but this episode was still okay. And plus, I didn't learn anything. Win. Just like Sonic Rainboom, this episode showed a side of Rainbow Dash that made me look past her less admirable qualities. This kind of Rainbow Dash episode is the one I really enjoy, and it makes me like her more as a character. Now, if only they could pull that off with Pinkie Pie. The first CMC episode that I actually liked, and it made me realize that they're a lot more tolerable when they're doing things other than crusading. I would have preferred for the lesson of this episode to be that sometimes people just won't like you, but that kind of message is a little bit dark to be sending to kids of the target demographic. So I can understand why they went in the direction they did. But I still found myself very annoyed by Pinkie Pie's antics, and the Smile song was only enjoyable for like 30 seconds. Plus I really felt sorry for Cranky. I don't even think Squidward suffered this much. One of my favorite Fluttershy episodes. And the idea that you can find a balance between being kind and being aggressive is a good message to send to kids. Another instance of Twilight overreacting to something, which I love. A lesson about self-identity. I like it when MLP does lessons like this. A nice uplifting episode about self-worth, a message that we really need to be spreading these days. Another tolerable CMC episode, and it was nice to finally see Diamond Tiara get some sort of punishment for once. No, I don't think the ending of Family Appreciation Day counted. Their headlines were also really interesting, and it makes me wonder if Fluttershy really does have tail extensions. Plus they managed to catch Princess Celestia slipping. That takes some real skill. The most boring mystery ever. Great story, great conflict, great songs, great villain. Best finale ever. I just hope that sometime in the future, my younger sister won't claim that my future fiancé will be evil. Not looking forward to that. As if I didn't already love this show, Season 2 was a major step up. Not that Season 1 was bad, but God, this season was awesome. Not only did it have my favorite songs, but it had my favorite season finale and my favorite villain. No, not Discord, Chrysalis. Don't get it twisted. This is also the only season where I enjoyed all the Spike episodes. My favorite episode of the season, and also the entire series, was a Canterlot Wedding. As for my least favorite episode, it's a tie between Baby Cakes and The Friend Indeed. But even though there were episodes that I didn't like, this season was really strong, and once I finished it, it was only a month-and-a-half long wait until season 3. Fun fact, A Canterlot Wedding aired on the birthday of one of my close family members, which is another reason why I hold the episode close to my heart. So how did you feel about Season 2? How did you feel about my thoughts on Season 2? Let me know in the comments below. If you want me to talk about a certain episode in particular, feel free to make a request for it. If you like this video, subscribe for more, and until next time, keep it sketchy, folks.